Pregame.com.
A little Tobacco Road action on Thursday night as the NC State Wolfpack travel to Chapel Hill to take on North Carolina. ACC action, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and the game is on ESPN. He's Brian Leonard. I'm Scott Spreitzer. We're breaking down this ACC matchup. And, you know, Brian, it's the Wolfpack who are the hunted, technically speaking, in this one because they are off to a 4-1 start in the ACC while Carolina's a half game back at 3-1. Some injury news before I throw this one at you is that Dexter Strickland, who is a starting guard for North Carolina, as everybody knows, and he's played and started in all 19 games, hurt his knee last time out, and he's going to miss the rest of the season. For my money, Carolina's deep enough to overcome an injury to Dexter Strickland, however.
Yeah, you get McDonald's All-American sitting on the bench when it comes to North Carolina, Kentucky, these type of places. So, yeah, you mentioned how the teams are playing. They've actually both won 9 of their last 10 games. North Carolina has won the last 10 meetings in this series, 8 straight at home. So they've dominated this in-state rivalry. The thing that concerns me, though, about North Carolina is they're a bad foul shooting team. 64.7% on the season. The Wolfpack over 10% higher from the foul line. When you're laying points with a team like North Carolina, it all comes down to how many games come to a coin flip at the end of the game, and you've got a bad free throw shooting team there. That's always a concern.
It's always tough to back. I took North Carolina in their bounce back possibility against Virginia Tech. Turned out to be one off the Florida State loss, and it was based not just on that. It was based on the fact that I thought the line was just right for a play on the road team against a Virginia Tech team that, I just don't care for Seth Greenberg. I know he's done okay there. I'm not going to knock him. He's a decent coach, but I think he's one of those middle-level type of coaches or would be good for mid-level programs like he was at Long Beach as opposed to stepping up in the ACC. He's just missing that gear to get him to the next level. But when I break down this game, man, I'm looking at Harrison Barnes, John Henson, Tyler Zeller, and to me they're the difference in this game. You've got these 3 bigs, so to speak, all scoring over 14 points per game, and you've got Henson and Zeller who are monsters on the glass. I mean, they really work the glass, and I think that's where they can catch NC State in this one.
Yeah, North Carolina leads the country in rebounding. A very good rebounding team, and they defend the 3 pretty well. Both teams have excellent guard play. You talked about the one injury. In fact, we're taking a look at the guards. Top 10 in assists per game, both teams. Top 25 in assist-to-turnover ratio, both teams. So I think they're going to fill in very well at the guard position in North Carolina, so I'm not too concerned about that. You take a look at North Carolina's only losses this year, and they do have 3 losses for a team. They were number 1 coming into the season, I believe, but it was to Florida State, Kentucky, UNLV. It would not surprise me if those 3 teams were in the Final Four. I mean, there are 3 very good teams.
Yeah, they all have a legitimate shot. It's not like this team has lost to the Sisters of the Poor.
Right.
I mentioned at the top of the analysis that Strickland is gone, and it's kind of funny. What I failed to mention is that when I see a guy like Dexter Strickland, he started in every game this year, but he's almost a role player. And when you got a guy like Kendall Marshall, who's a human, walking, talking assist man, averaging over 9 assists per game for North Carolina, I mean, that's some pretty serious numbers at the collegiate level. He's still out there directing the traffic. Dexter Strickland's a good player, but if you could ever have a role player as a starter, it would be him. And I just think they get over the top there. The final thing that I want to say about this game is, NC State's got balance. They've got 5 players averaging between 12 and 13 points per game roughly. And I like the upgrade as far as the coach is concerned. I think Mark Gottfried gives this program a chance to get back on track, and he's doing a good job right now. But when you look at their 4-1 mark and who they've played in the ACC, they have played a softer slate of teams thus far, and now they're stepping up, and I'm not sure they're going to get there. I think North Carolina finds a way to win this game by about 17, 18 points by the time it's done. However, you've always got, and it's a lean, but however, you've always got to factor in what you just did, which is free throw shooting. And when that game is right around the number in the closing couple of minutes, and that underdog is fouling a poor shooting favorite to try to stay in the game or get back into it, it does make things a little bit hairy.
Yeah, the only thing you don't have to worry about here is most of the time if a game's more than 7 points, then they stop fouling. In this price range, it may not hurt you, but I always hate to back teams as favorites in that situation.
Sure, if it's a 10 or 11 point game and there's 2 minutes to go, NC State, you never know. They might get a wild hair and foul a little bit, and then you're sitting there biting on your fingernails. But
that's right.
He's Brian Leonard. I'm Scott Spreitzer. A lean on North Carolina. We've got more college basketball. Be sure to stay tuned and check out our analysis on the battle in the Big Ten between Wisconsin and Indiana.